From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
American Door Company has been family-owned and operated for over 29 years, supplying Northern California with quality garage doors, garage door openers, and installed with the best service you'd expect from a locally owned company. We serve all of Northern California from Willows all the way to the Oregon state line. Give us a call today.
Well, good morning, everyone. I do expect those calmer winds throughout the day today. That's going to make for a more beautiful day, especially in the valley, where it's kind of breezy, gusty throughout the day and making it feel a little bit chillier than it actually was. But it's going to make for a warmer day today. Wet weather returns over the weekend, though, but often on showers into early next week. And that big warm-up I've been talking about over the last several days, and just beginning to see more and more agreement in those long-range forecast models that it may happen. Now, it's not going to be of super strong ridge of high pressure where we're going to be looking at temperatures in the 80s and 90s, but temperatures for the valley well into the 70s most likely. We take a look at our planner for today. You've got the mainly sunny skies here. Temperatures are warming up, even for the mountains, although still, it's that time of the year. Your higher elevations are going to be chillier, but still not that bad. Temperatures in the mid to upper 50s for the coast. Inland, low 60s and upper 50s out in Trinity County. So there's the ridge of high pressure that's been building over the last few days. That's going to be at its strength, its strongest here for today. And not to mention the winds have moved on out. It's going to make for a pretty darn nice day. But that's all going to start to change. Now, first of all, we take you through today. You've got plenty of sunshine. A few clouds trying to make their way along the coast here, but overall, looking at a lot of sunshine across the board. Now, we go into Friday night, early Saturday morning. You can see this weak cold front. Now, this is going to be your standard cold front where the bulk of the energy is to our north, and then we get the tail end of that. So the coast typically sees the most amount of rainfall out of this. As it hits the coastal range and the mountains, it begins to break apart. And then as we go into the noon hour, it's already pretty much done with. There could be some of those showers making their way into parts of the valley as we go into the late morning hours, but you can see here, even going through the afternoon, there may be a few pop-ups here and there, but for the most part, it does not look like a big deal on Saturday. It's Sunday that we've got a stronger system coming in. By the way, snow levels around 3,500, 4,000 feet, but there you can see a stronger cold front. Winds will be associated with this as well, and there you can see that snow off into the higher elevations. Now I'm going to take you to about the noon hour on Sunday as far as this forecast model goes, but you can see a nice big stream of moisture coming in. That's all pushing eastward through the day on Sunday, so some heavier rainfall on Sunday, and then more showers coming into your Monday and Tuesday of next week. All right, so here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. These temperatures are going to be somewhere in the upper 50s and low 60s for your daytime highs. You can see your North Coast neighborhood forecast, upper 50s to around 60. There's 60 in Fortuna as well as Blue Lake and 62 degrees in Garberville. We take you up north with 55 for Crescent City, 58 for Smith River, Gas Key, about 61 for that daytime high. And as we take you off into a Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, hey, how about temperatures in the low to maybe some mid 50s in there for today? Of course, another beautiful, dry, mainly sunny day out there today. Even for Modoc County, lots of sunshine, but of course, we could see some showers on Saturday. But again, you saw how insignificant it is. There's a very good chance it actually may be dry for Modoc County in the eastern mountains on Saturday, and then better chances coming in on Sunday. But there you can see for today, yeah, not bad temperature-wise, mainly in the 50s and of course in the 60s for some of the warmer spots. In your valley neighborhood forecast, temperatures in the mid 60s for your highs, 66 degrees for Corning, Chico about 65 degrees. A bit of a north breeze, but again, certainly not what we saw out there yesterday at about a little, obviously less than 10 miles per hour. 58 degrees out in Whiskey Town, 65 for Redding, and there you can see out in Red Bluff, a high of about 64 degrees. All right, let's take a look at that 7-day forecast, and of course, those are showers coming in on Saturday. Now, as I mentioned, Saturday, and as you saw, not very significant, but there is going to be that chance as it passes on through. I do expect a better chance for some more measurable and heavier rainfall Sunday, and then off and on chances for showers for the first half of next week, but it looks like it will dry out and warm up by Wednesday and Thursday. Well, that is your forecast for the day. If you want to get into a deeper dive, stick around, and we're going to talk more about, of course, the heavier chances for rain, and not to mention some of those winds picking up. So we start with the satellite image. Low pressure. You can see this is the Sunday system coming on in. So what's going to happen is you can clearly see this area of low pressure spinning here. So all of this is just kind of pushing our way, and it's going to take a little time. Now take a look at what happens. So that storm system you saw, right, that we were looking at that nice band of clouds, well, that's right here. But watch what happens. Because we have this ridge of high pressure in place, what is going to happen is this trough of low pressure, which is deep and nice and strong, you saw it on the satellite image here, that is going to be pushing up a little bit more to the north. So as a result, you have the bulk of the energy going to the north because of that ridge of high pressure. It breaks apart as it moves over Northern California, but it's still going to have some of its strength, and that's why I think the coast will see the best chances for rain on Saturday, with those slimmer chances as you start heading eastward. Now, we've got some more energy behind that. You see this low pressure right here. You've got a trough right here. Now watch what happens with this trough. It's going to dig down to the south as it moves eastward. So now you can see it's kind of at its full strength at this point on Sunday. So you saw some of the heavier rainfall coming in on Sunday morning, and then Sunday afternoon that kind of pushes eastward. Now behind this, we got a couple of weeks, actually 1 week system right here. You see the flow. As we go to Monday, you have a little bit of a dip in the jet stream, but this is very close to what is called a zonal flow type pattern, where you can see it's a fairly flat jet stream. So the storm systems still kind of flow along that jet stream like a river, but they're just fairly weak. They pass through fairly quickly because of that fast zonal flow that we're dealing with here. So as we go into Monday and Tuesday, we'll see a couple of weak systems pass through, and then we start to see that big ridge of high pressure begin to build in as early as Wednesday. There's the ridge, but look, it's pretty typical here. You've got the ridge off to our west. There's that upper level flow. So we can see those winds begin to pick up as early as Wednesday of next week. And then with this area of low pressure diving down to the south and high pressure to our west, winds kind of setting up here too toward the end of next week. But by the weekend, I don't want to say the weekend, a week from this upcoming weekend, that's the ridge of high pressure building in. So we're looking at kind of a long way from now, but mid to upper 70s will be in the forecast here. Mountains in the low to mid 60s, and for the coast, mid to upper 60s. All right, let's take a look at that temperature outlook. Yeah, I mean, the Climate Prediction Center just gets more and more on board with this, right? And it makes sense because we're seeing a lot more consistency in the long-range forecast models in that warmer setup. So better chances of seeing those above normal temperatures. All right, let's talk about the winds. And there you can see, of course, not a big deal today. So gorgeous day today. I mean, the wind's going to be so much calmer. It's going to be warmer out there. If you're sitting out in the sun, should be very nice. But there's the approaching system on Saturday. Now, as I mentioned, that's going to be weakening. So the winds will pick up as we go into tonight and Saturday morning. But you can see kind of more of a southwesterly flow of winds. Now, as we go into Sunday, yeah, this is where things get a little bit more interesting. So Sunday morning, there is the stronger cold front, winds picking up for the coast. 20, even over 30 miles per hour, and then that will kind of make its way eastward, and the winds begin to pick up from the south in the valley. And we can see also, looking at those winds of around 15 to even gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour. And then, of course, that will kind of push itself eastward. The wind should die down. But I do expect to see some more winds in the long range. We'll take a closer look at that here in a second. Here's the ridge of high pressure that's in place today. Gorgeous, gorgeous weather, right? But there is Saturday's system. Now watch what happens. It's going to push eastward, and then it kind of just breaks apart. Why? Because a lot of that energy, as I mentioned, is pushing to the north. Still a chance for showers. This model is a little bit stronger than that short-range model I was showing you here, but you get the idea. It kind of breaks apart and loses a lot of its strength. Here's Sunday's system. This is the trough that is going to be digging and getting stronger. See, watch what happens with that trough. See how it digs to the south. Now we have the flow. Remember, we talked about this before. Trough axis, area of highest amount of instability. That's where we are on Sunday. And that's why I expect to see some of the heavier rainfall, and not to mention some of those gusty winds and snow in the higher elevations. That pushes to the east. We get more of that zonal flow type pattern where we've got this system coming in Monday evening through Sunday, and then high pressure begins to build in behind that, right? That high pressure is building in. So here's the setup. Remember, I was talking about Wednesday with that wind kind of going around that ridge of high pressure, and we see the gusty winds. Now, what's going to happen as we go into the end of next week, this low pressure dives to the south. this area of high pressure builds in, and boy, we got that nice little setup for gusty winds. We got the high pressure here, low pressure down here. We're going to be looking at some gusty winds possibly by the end of next week. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, looking pretty gusty. And then that should start to kind of move on out. You saw that on the longer range forecast. And the wind should begin to relax as a result, but high pressure is still in place. And the Climate Prediction Center is getting these darker and darker browns, indicating better and better chances of seeing that below normal precipitation. I mean, the thing is, it may stick around for a while, but before that drying trend gets here, we still have some rain to contend with for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And the valley, I think, could pick up on average about an inch of rainfall. I think it might be overdoing it for Redding, but you get the idea. Should be pretty good. And then it looks like some heavier amounts of rainfall most likely coming into the coast. So here's a look at your wave heights. There you can see we're around 3 to 5 feet for the coast, 6 feet as we kind of head out. But see what's happening? As we go into this evening and into tomorrow, those wave heights are really starting to increase. So no small craft advisories today, but this evening there will be a small craft advisory. So when you look at the marine forecast, keep in mind, it says no alerts, but again, by this evening, there will be a small craft advisory going into tomorrow with southwest winds at about 5 to 15 knots. Okay, let's take a look at your forecast for today. Temperatures in the mid-60s. A gorgeous, gorgeous day for the valley. Of course, cooler in the mountains, but still not that bad in the 40s and 50s. Mid to upper 50s along the coast. And there you can see inland temperatures in the low 60s. Let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for the valley to start things off with. And there are those off and on showers. Now, I think the heaviest rainfall will be on Sunday, and then off and on showers for Monday and Tuesday of next week. We take a look at your 7-day outlook for the coast. Also, heavier rainfall. That's when we expect some of the heaviest rainfall for the coast. Snow levels really across the board for the mountains are expected to be somewhere around 4,000 feet before we dry out and really begin to warm things up by Wednesday and Thursday.